So if you spend any time on TikTok, you've almost definitely seen this trend. People are scooping out those shiny black seeds from a papaya, throwing them in a smoothie, and calling it the ultimate parasite cleanse. It's this huge viral thing promising to, deworm your system. So, okay, let's really get into this. We're going to separate the social media hype from the actual science.
And this is the kind of claim that just fuels the whole thing, right? It sounds so dramatic, so compelling. It's almost like it's a big secret that, the experts are trying to hide from you. The idea is that this one simple, natural thing could fix all these hidden problems, everything from why you're tired to why you're bloated. And honestly, that really gets to the heart of our question here. Whenever a wellness trend like this just explodes online, it is so important to look past all the personal stories and ask, what's the actual evidence? Are we looking at a genuinely safe and effective remedy, or are people just jumping on the bandwagon of another myth?
Okay, so let's get into it. First things first, to be fair, this trend didn't just pop up out of nowhere. The idea of using papaya seeds for health, it's actually not new at all. For centuries, traditional medicine has used these seeds for all sorts of potential benefits, and that's exactly what got modern science interested in the first place.
For starters, the seeds themselves are actually pretty nutritious. I mean, they're packed with fiber, which we all know is great for digestion, and they're also loaded with antioxidants, things like polyphenols and flavonoids that help fight cell damage. On top of that, you've got healthy fats and papain, which is a really well-known enzyme that helps your body break down proteins. So, on paper, they look pretty good.
Now, this number, 76.7%. This is the big one. This is pretty much the cornerstone of this entire trend. It comes from a pilot study back in 2007 in Nigeria. They took 60 kids who had intestinal parasites and gave them a mix of dried papaya seeds and honey. And the results? They were pretty striking. Almost 77% of those kids were cleared of parasites. But, and this is a really big but, here's the crucial context. That study, as promising as it sounds, was tiny. We're talking about just 60 children, and it's never been replicated on a bigger scale. As one gastroenterologist, Dr. Christine Lee, points out, you just can't take the findings from a small group like that and apply them to everybody. You need way more research. See, one small study is just a starting point for science. It's never the final word. And this brings us to the part of the story that you almost never see in a 30-second TikTok video. While the benefits are, let's be honest, unproven, some of the risks are actually well documented in scientific literature. So let's talk about what the research really says about the potential dangers here. Okay, before we dive into the specific studies, there's a key term we really need to understand, and that's anti-fertility. So what does that mean? It basically refers to any substance that can interfere with the reproductive system, making it harder to have a baby.
All right, now check this out. A 2021 study done on female rats, well, it was pretty alarming. When they were given papaya seed extract, the rats had a huge drop in progesterone. That's a hormone that's absolutely essential for a healthy pregnancy. Not only that, their reproductive cycles got all messed up, and researchers actually saw what they called marked degeneration. In other words, serious tissue damage in their uterus and ovaries. So the study's conclusion was clear. The extract has definite anti-fertility effects.
And for anyone who is pregnant, the risk is even more specific. This is where things get really nuanced. A ripe papaya, the yellow-skinned one, that's generally considered safe during pregnancy. But an unripe, green-skinned papaya is a different story. It contains a lot of latex, and that substance can actually trigger uterine contractions, which could be really dangerous, potentially leading to early labor or even miscarriage. And since the seeds are in both types of fruit, it just adds another layer of risk to think about. And believe it or not, there's another really serious concern we need to talk about. The seeds contain a compound that, in large amounts, can be toxic. And Dr. Lee points out that this includes trace amounts of, get this, cyanide. Now, a tiny, tiny amount might not hurt you, but she warns that eating large quantities, like some of these viral trends tell you to, could be genuinely harmful to your health. So, okay, we've looked at the exciting claims, and we've looked at the pretty serious risks. Where does that leave us? What's the final verdict here? Let's go through it, claim by claim. All right, this little chart here really sums everything up perfectly. First claim, does it kill parasites? Well, the evidence is interesting for sure, but in humans, it's totally unproven. Next up, is it a natural contraceptive? Absolutely not. Calling it that is a dangerous myth. The animal studies point to hormone disruption and actual tissue damage, which is not a safe or reliable way to prevent pregnancy. And finally, does it improve digestion? Okay, this one is plausible. With all that fiber and those digestive enzymes, yeah, it could definitely help support your gut health.
The really crucial point here, the biggest risk might not even be the seeds themselves. It's what a trend like this makes you ignore. Let's say you're dealing with constant bloating or diarrhea or stomach pain. You see a video online and you think, oh, it must be parasites. But those exact same symptoms could be signs of something much more serious, like inflammatory bowel disease, celiac disease, or even pancreatic problems. By chasing a viral fad, you could be delaying a real diagnosis and the treatment you actually need.
And really, this whole thing isn't just about papaya seeds, is it? It's about being ready for the next viral health trend that's going to pop up on your feed. So, let's wrap this up with a super practical toolkit that'll help you figure out what's legit and what's not. It really just comes down to 4 simple steps. Number 1, question the source. Ask yourself, is this a board-certified doctor giving advice, or is it an influencer who might be selling something? 2, look for actual human studies. Don't just rely on one person's story or research done on animals. 3, if something sounds like a secret cure-all, be really, really skeptical. That's a huge red flag. And finally, and this is the most important one, always, always talk to your own doctor before you try something new. They're the only ones who know your health history and can give you advice that's safe for you. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The next time you're scrolling and some miracle food or cleanse shows up, what's the very first question you're going to ask yourself? Hopefully, it'll be about the source, the real science, and the potential risks that might be hiding just behind the hype.